Hey guys, this is Connor at PFPC in London. Today I want to talk about how to kettlebell swing most appropriately for sport development, for posterior chain development. I see a lot of people getting the kettlebell swing wrong. It's mostly like an aerobic class, like use the baby weights kind of approach that's leading people there. And we got to think of this movement as a power movement, as something that's done explosively, and we have to have the mechanics to back that up. So the big problem that I see is people are treating this like a slow, controlled movement. They're thinking of it as a squat, where you then lift the kettlebell up in front of you using your delts, using your shoulders. That is just not the way to go about it. That's a poor squat, and that's a poor delt raise. You'd be better off doing both of those movements in isolation. You could load them a lot better in those settings. Using a kettlebell for that is just pointless. It's a waste of time. So if I'm going nice and slow and controlled on that way up, I'm not generating any force to get up there. I'm relying on these tiny little muscles to carry me through the movement, and it's going to necessitate a baby weight. It's not going to get me anywhere. So instead, I want to think about explosiveness. Now, if I'm doing a squatting kind of movement, like a squat kettlebell swing, that's, again, it's quite limited. I'm producing force straight up and down as I do normally with a squat. The problem with that is I have a kettlebell between my legs and it's swinging out in front of me. So rather than just being able to produce force up and down like I do when I have a bar on my back, I've got to figure out what this kettlebell is doing and also try to dissipate some force or put some force into that as well. Again, squat swing, not as efficient as just doing a squat. So the best kettlebell swing to use is the hinge swing or the hard style swing. Now this means just a little bit of bend in the knees, but they stay pretty soft, but pretty much the same angle the whole time. And most of the movement is at my hips. It's a posterior movement on my hips and then punching those hips forward. So posterior weight shift, anterior weight shift, popping those hips forward like I do when I'm running, when I'm broad jumping, standing long jump, that kind of thing. It's a very explosive, useful movement for any kind of sport. Posterior chain development is very important for everyone. Anyone that wants to pick up a bag of groceries or carry their kids or anything like that. So I'll show you the two different styles of swings. Well, I'll show you the three different styles of swings. The aerobic kind of swing where you're lifting really slow, the squat swing, and then the hard style hinge swing. And you can be the judge of which one looks the most productive. As you should be able to see from my demos there, the last one, the hinge swing, I can generate a ton of power. The intent in my mind is to whip that kettlebell out in front of me as far as I can. I'm just controlling it the last second. So that's going to lead to the best power gains. It's the best mechanics, safest mechanics for your low back, especially if you're a taller person. As you can see, the other two are not going to do you too many favors in terms of force development. Something to think about.